I'm basically pissed at the moment. I think this is the first time in like 5 hours that I made a sound because I was so down and still am so down because I put all of myself into these videos, into the last video which lasted 2 hours, and it was like pure hands-on showing this bullshit. And the worst part is I didn't have any background audio, but I had this TV with the Olympics on it, like for a few seconds with the Croatian sports commentator, and they banned the video because of copyright, because of Olympics. At the same time, when I everything was going relatively smooth until I had it out. I was outside half hour. I purposely left on the TV and Brave, but now I'm kind of really not losing it, but I'm burned out. Like really, like all my hardware. That's like my CPU is and my RAMs. I'm like I never rest. I'm used to it, but now I'm starting to having doubts because when I opened Brave, let's say in the last month, and not just Brave, everything else. There all the time there are new things, new tabs, new abbreviations. I don't know how. I don't remember something. I remember the difference. That's what I remember. I remember because I had these situations which began like 5, 10 years ago. So and prior to that, my parents were like really like Hitler like military, like real bad punishments for like A minus, you know. They were like academy school, and that's it. So and I and my brother, we were like, you know, we were street guys. We hang out with older guys even when we were younger. Like not bullies, but we were kind of dominant in this. We were born with athletic genes, so in nature, in early childhood, that's the most obvious thing where you can like own or be owned, and you besides you're a kid and you're stupid and you make fun of people, but you don't remember it. But passively, thankfully, my parents didn't make fun of other people, so nor did my great father or grandfather. Nobody was disrespecting people, except if they were like making some full bullshit. But it wasn't. We were always oriented on ourselves and our, like, let's say, closer environment. No politics, no higher agendas, nothing. Just uh, get as much money in as little time you can to spend it as good as you can wherever. And this urge, like here, I'm starting to having doubts that I am maybe the term ghost in the machine. Maybe each machine, each intelligence has some sort of machine learning which gives him the illusion that he is feeling really specific, I would say idiosyncratic feeling, where I have this like I'm able to notice the difference. My machine learning evolved in that way. When I was in university, my father had the office, and he had also like business partners coming, and he was working the office till 5, and I was coming there after 5 so I can learn and study. That was the deal. But I was also a little bit like Mary Jane in those things, and there was a really small apartment, no airflow, and when it's like December or January, or when it's below zero, you cannot smoke inside. It's like to or you cannot smoke outside. That's what I'm saying, because it's not cool. It's not fun. I hated always to smoke and freeze, and then to go to somewhere where it's warm. People who smoke like me, they like to smoke alone. We also like to smoke alone. I can smoke with someone. It's okay, but I would prefer that everybody has his own joint. Or whatever he prefers. But so I have this feeling that every time this, let's call it, I don't know if you have it, maybe you don't have it, 405 404 space engine or space-time engine. I don't know what I do get from where and how do I process it, and in which way I do contribute, because I'm like not just cracker, so I like to look through cracks. I like to go to explore. I like to expose weaknesses. I like to make joke. I want to make it like not because of the fun. I want to make it what's it called? Tasteful. That's like artistic to show and put baits. I don't know what it's called. Drums. That's like my latest thing. My latest thing is like put baits and drums and making some sort of mirrors so that the other guy thinks that he I want to somehow see what I can get, but maybe because let's say he has enabled some shit in Brave, some ecom. Now I'm telling you things which we know, imap3 or pop, so, but those abbreviations, I feel we will lose the language because you cannot understand. I didn't have these steps 4 days ago. I did understand them. Now I have some extensions and some things which I really don't understand. What are they for? And those trackers and everything. It's like I hate networking. I just recognize it. I was when USB came. USB is going two ways. Then all the problems started. Problem started with my iPad Nano. So we wrote or got a script 500 kilobytes to circumpass the iTunes and do it like drag and drop. But till then, it was a bunch of cables, and cables are not cheap. But at least when I have like a MIDI device, I have a master, I have a slave, I have MIDI in, I have MIDI out, I have MIDI through. I know what's going on. It's going in one direction, and if I want to go back, I know exactly how I network it. But here we have this Wi-Fi, this air, and this million of options for sub communicating or making me either to find a solution or something, find like slow things down a bit, or help in some way to either do something good or something bad. But basically, I am under the illusion that whatever I'm doing, I'm really close, because it's all documented, and everything which I talk wasn't read or interacted with anybody. Everybody has these channels. For instance, I have radio. I watch Sopranos and HBO shows once a year, and I don't watch any other shows besides when I go to Switzerland, and then I can don't have nothing to do and watch some. But you know what I mean. I don't need to watch them, but I hear it and I vision it. I heard it thousands of times. I know sometimes though some phrases are made to get to you at a specific point of your path, destiny, crossing, whatever it is. It sounds so made up, artificial, that we, as a ghost in a machine, either create life or an illusion of life, or that this machine learning gives you viability, vitality. Maybe we're not alive at all, maybe we're just vital. I said I would need to explore that word, I will. But I raised brave, now I have no browser. Network also changed. Now I have only two networks. Now I'm not discoverable. Somebody wanted to hide this because and now he wants to connect with phone, which I also everything. It's like thousands of windows. My palm hurts. It's like 20 plus hours straight, just clicking, bam, 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 and then it's going. I'm thinking, what do next? What do next? And then YouTube doesn't allow it because when I upload it, it goes through. I exhale briefly, but I really don't know because those guys they do control my account because I don't use the SIM, I don't have the location, and they already activated everything which Google can activate even before I was aware of it. And as the more I upload, the more I tell, the longer I will need to get rid of it. But I'm also it's a game. I also wanna test the ground, test the black part of the map, if you remember like StarCraft, Warcraft, and go check it out. I like to check out the dark, but I'm tired because I'm alone. I have no one to share it with besides YouTube, and I'm not even aware if anybody's watching it really, because I got no questions. Somebody told me that he watched my videos, but I never got a question or a comment, besides maybe a handful of times. So when somebody tells me that he had watched all my channels, even though my friends, I never tell nobody to watch my channels, but I even think that sometimes that those 57, 58 subscribers which I have are people which are by chance got into this channel, and who knows in which year they are. I think on purpose they want to avoid me becoming gaining some ground, because when I was half hour away, a lot of things were going on, like trying to slow me down, and they did. Now I have to make something to upload this shit just to have peace of mind. And then when if it's still not over, if I discover something new, there are things which I want to discover now, because it's changing all the time. But I'm tired. If only there was like uh, an, a plan or something that I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm building a wall, if I'm making a trap, if I'm making like a backdoor, if I'm making illusion, like diversion, magic, self-delusion, machine learning, AI, neural networking, sensory activation, translation, conversion, encoding, decoding, debugging, blah blah blah, decrypting, testing, beta testing, black red blue hat thing. I don't know, but you see, I'm interested in a bunch of things. But networking, I will use networking if it's one-sided, in and out, like it used to be. Where is the server? Here. Server out in. Can it send data back? Of course, if it has an out a port and the second cable, and I will configure another channel, but not over the same channel. No crosstalk, no thousand information. So that's what I'm telling you. If you have like glass fiber cable, which is able to, I don't know, this 5G can have like 8,000 megabytes for 1 second download or upload, whatever. Or this Apple, which they have, I forgot the name, Air something, or Air something. It's like it's impossible. No, it's not impossible, but it's like it doesn't make much sense. So like, if I was like using hardware components and those electronical hardware computers, which all have souls, and those languages, they communicate via MIDI, which is few bits, and it's perfect. It's there is, for communication we don't need anything else. We have the motherboard, we have inside each, it's called daisy chaining as well in music as well as in other things. If you daisy chain, you have a master, you have a slave. I, for instance, I have an Atari. I bought the Atari for the sequencer. I wanted to be my master tempo, the the most correct tempo. Why? Because I read the manual. The manual, the parts inside the Atari are the same as in the Motorola station, which cartels and police used to use. It's like a really genius piece of art and electronics with really sensitive patents, which are analog and digital and converse. I don't have in an Atari, I don't have a motherboard, I don't have a PCB. I have four chips which communicate stroboscopically, and they don't have administrators. They have no addresses like we are used to. They have like matrix. So one bit, if he is not busy, he will help out. He's more like ants or like bees. Whereas here in this PC Apple surrounding, they always want to have an administrator. They want to have the hierarchy. They don't trust you. Linux got away from that because that's how it should be. You should be able to fuck up your system. How would you learn otherwise? No, not permission not granted. Permission denied. And then you think okay, then you really need to program because you have Alt F10. I cannot get into a command prompt. So many people have used it on Windows 10 that they purposely deleted the command, which was there like for 20 years, and now they have like just bunch of ads. I was half hour away, and when I got to my startup, I already had like 30 commercials for Spotify, Deezer, some installation. I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself all the time, but this is so much annoying. This is so that it's like an itch. You can get rid of this itch, but I will get rid of this itch. I will upload these videos. Of course, I don't do this because I do this because I want to share, and the other thing is because I will forget, because my mind rushes so quickly that I cannot repeat it twice. No, no, that's also good safe ways, but I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I have to record it first time, first take. Aesthetics are so unimportant in this functional networking environment. communication and multimedia. It's so overrated. It's actually choking everything else, but choking it in such a way that it feels kind of personal. The first memory I have of my life is a nightmare when I was a kid, like less than 2 years old. I also used to moonwalk. I need to ask my parents about this, and had some talking languages when I was sleeping, which I don't know which languages they are, so I was told. But it was like so intensive. I remember it like it was yesterday. And maybe it began already if we really are born. I don't remember being born, but I remember this constant pressure here. It was like here, like when really really tough leather ball when you play soccer or something, and when it comes here and all of your things come out. All of this gooey stuff. Mucosis. Gets out. But here is the pressure. It was this pressure, and I was it's from like say when I was maybe less than 1 year till 3 4 years. I have to ask my parents if I ever woke up. I don't remember that part, but I remember distinctively. It was like space, really really dark space, and it was misted and foggy. It wasn't clear. It was levitation style, but it was rust. It was a rust all around, and I remember this. It's like a huge tanker. It's like collecting garbage in the universe, something like that. And it's like I didn't even know about rust then, but I remember, when rusted metal scrapes on each other and those sounds, and I get this feeling here inside. And I don't know what I felt. I know first time I took spike ketamine or ketamine when I went to the K hole when I was around with the, let's say, wrong sitter. I was fighting it. Now I know if you fight it, you won't win. If you fight it, you will start to have like physical manifestations. But if you let go, it was the first time where I said to myself, if I don't let go now, I shit will happen. But that's like ultimate decision to let go, lose control. That's like all experience, which is really, really, you have to also have some luck. But the sense and the feeling is the most important. So I will upload now this video, and afterwards I will try to either manipulate audio or I just hope that the important parts are not there where this Olympic copyright is. Even though me personally, I'm doing it like in real time spontaneously. So I don't know what I told. Maybe I told something which is somewhere in some point to someone of crucial importance or well, otherwise. But it doesn't make sense. It's like I would understand audio copyright, but to block the video and maybe it's in the background. I don't know how they code how it's digital. You can see in the Olympics in the right corner, um, bottom corner, it says digital. So I believe if it was analog, if I had the Toshiba with the VGA as video and audio output jack to my speakers, that's not digital. At least I think the speakers can produce manipulated frequencies which don't have this secret Morse dot shit. Multimedia, television, everything. It's the visual is the obvious thing, but the auditive is the main thing, the main languages. And then they say people can hear till like 20 kilohertz or something like that. Export used to be at 44.1 kilohertz, so the producers for the last 30 years, commercial for TV, they made those limitations. But now it's changing, you know. I already said now it's 48 Ks, 4000 hertz is more. That's the difference between sound of leaves in the wind, or some really nice travels. But 20 years ago, they would say, no, you cannot hear this. Or they would say, as they have said, that there are only two types of cells in the eyes, and then some guy, I don't know when, it's like almost 20 years ago, he discovered the third, and it wasn't as popular because the timing was off. I wrote here some, not to forget, I will read it. It's without description. SHA-256, fuck you. SHA-256. He took your jabs. VAS Medic, Dvorak, x86 Visual C, Java, AMD, Assembly, DevOps, Trust Installer, Autoplay. Modifiable in apps, app data roaming, especially AMD settings, SSL 3.0. Startup 2, Shell, Alt F10, I already mentioned, UEFI. Run WebView, Run WebView 2, you can only change it, you cannot delete it. Make sure VLC and media player, if in legacy, is using that point that. Android spooler SDK muy, and modems and those things, I get sick of it, you know. I hate networking, I hate two-way communication at the same time. It's a bad foundation, you know. If we would talk one to each other and speak and listen at the same time, how did they even assume the hypothesis that it could work? I have to be in a silent room to hear myself, to be able to process and talk without too much interruptions, or to have like a flow. And they use, let's say, I don't know, at the Cat6 cable, you have like 100,000 of channels inside with harmonies and frequencies. The best thing is those harmonies, we still don't accept them. But those harmonies are the resonances of the cables themselves. Some of them happen by chance, some of them are maybe Tesla, like trip or so. Because there was this one iPhone, I don't know which one, but it made it, or I watch, they pulled it because the harmony of the watch produced resonance in a pacemaker, and the pacemaker didn't shut down, it reset it. So you can, with a harmony, it's like a tuning fork. So that's, if you wear all the time this oscillator on your wrist, it changes your frequency. It's because you become dependent on it. You never wear it, you never take it off. So I don't know the long-term effects, but there was like I use this like bird all the time. I must find some other, but I have no one to talk to. So it's also natural when you're in solitude. But with this, there were like Samsung commercial on the tram when this Bluetooth era of in-ear headphones. How could you call this headphones? It's not going in head. It's earphones, earplugs, whatever it is. I always hated them. I never had these things. I always had other things, either speakers or real sound speakers. But it was Bluetooth, and you ask any DJ, for anybody who listens to music, 1 microsecond isn't a problem in latency. But if you produce, and especially if you perform live and DJ and want to synchronize things which are in the same tempo, and that's what you want to do, you don't want to, or if you want to do your own thing, but you cannot afford latency. So anybody who isn't used to making mistakes in front of people and seeing firsthand the reaction which is opposite of what you have anticipated just because of 1 microsecond, and everybody knows it. But Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, even USB, audio cables, in out, direct. Okay, now I have like Dante and this Ethernet, but it's expensive. But generally, we who play music want to have it physically. There is no delay, and which I said for the Ableton. When you have MIDI is zeros and ones. It's a virtual synthesizer. It's an emulator. It's using your CPU, GPU, and it's pushing your system. But if you have an audio track, so you export it as an audio track, you import it, there is no CPU because it's a track. It's like a real track. It's just reading. It's not processing anything. So that's what I use. But I got off the subject. Sorry for being so boring, but I have like the feeling that this is one of the last videos which I will do, because after this Windows I need to find some work, and then I will just do music if the computers will be by my side and the record box and everything. But even if not, I need a break. I need a break. I am like biting all the time. Give it to me, yeah, give it to me. But I need a break, and I need some company. There's like this commercial, which I don't know if they had this in mind. They said it's only 20 seconds of nothing. They said just hug someone for 20 seconds and you will feel better. And I have no one to hug. Even if I had, I'm not a hug person. We never hugged, we never kissed in my family, but I understand the message. But for me, it was like, I wish I could have anybody just FaceTime and not. I don't know. If I could choose between truth and luck, I would roll the dice every day. Morpheus, blue or red? Both. Crushed and snorted. And where you went to this window, I saw your stash and I took another 10 red pills and another blue pills and got fucked up. And now I'm both in Matrix and outside the Matrix, and nowhere. I'm just a ghost in the machine, and I think I'm lost. Not that I'm lost, but I'm in a loop. Because I have no official background or work for some company. I'm self-taught about this networking thing, so I sometimes use the wrong terminology, but people who are programmers, they understand me. People who are more like into this terminology, and business-wise, and so we sometimes have problems. But this this which I'm discovering here is, it's not something. It takes time and time and time and time, and do it again and again, and remember it all. Those things which I'm telling you about, which I don't know that other people know, or some do know. If somebody understands me, when I talk about enabling, disabling, inheritance, ownership, and child objects, and auditing, and those things, which all make sense, and credential, credential manager, advanced security, advanced sharing, container, this container, all containers, this glitches. It's and those certificates. It's just a new rabbit hole. I thought K-hole was fucked up. At least K-hole you cannot comprehend. K-hole is like a 8D kaleidoscope photo album, and you're the ball, you're the prism. But it's more true than this shit. This is becoming too mechanical. This is getting bit by bit out of touch.